how do we inspire? Well, I think uh, that there are several ways of inspiring. We can inspire with words, we can inspire with actions, we can inspire with attitudes and approach. I think how I want to inspire is really to assure people that there is a link between the words and the action. And often I think, particularly given our cynicism about political statements and what our leaders do, we fear that there will not be action to follow the words. So I used to be a trust medical director for many years, and occasionally we used to have patients who were racially abusive to staff, uh, and we developed a way of dealing with that. And I think there were three uh, elements to that. First of all, acknowledge that it happens. Secondly, explore with the patient why they feel like that. It's often fear. It's often, everybody says that, I don't know, doctors trained overseas or nurses trained overseas don't know as much as if you're trained in England. And of course, often there was an assumption in there that because somebody had a particular name or looked at a particular way, they'd been trained overseas, but that's a bit of an aside. But you have to talk to the person and understand the person if you're going to change things when they make uh, really horrible judgments about people because of what they perceive them to be. Second thing you have to do is really understand the impact of that on the person who's been abused. And that isn't about saying, there, it must have been horrible. It's about trying to live that experience with them and to relate it to your own experience. When I was a medical student, I spent a month as a medical student living in the student hostel in the University of Khartoum in Sudan. And I learnt then what it was like to be the person that everybody noticed because of the colour of their skin. You'd walk the streets, and this was a very long time ago, and everybody would shout out Hawaja, which means white man. You were watched everywhere and undoubtedly judged uh, in many different ways because of the past history between Britain and Sudan, but also because of uh, the way in which white people were thought about in that country at that time. And I think that walking the journey with people uh, is a very important part of trying to give them the confidence to go forward. Because if you have been the victim of abuse of any sort, you need to have people on the journey out of that. But you also need to have people who can give you the confidence that you can get out of it, that you don't have to stay in that very difficult place that you can sometimes end up in. And the third thing you have to do, and I really think this is the message of encouragement and the NHS, is you have to change things. And I think this whole focus on Black History Month, on the ED&I issues, and I think it's not just about BAME, it's about other aspects of diversity. The fact we have the conversations, the fact we have policies, the fact that as an organisation, the NHS from the top to the bottom is really embracing this, has to be about making the NHS a better place to work for everybody, a more equal place to work. And if we've learned nothing else in COVID, it's that everybody has a contribution to make, and everybody actually has an important contribution to make for the greater ambition, which in our context is the health of the nation.